Hey guys, James with Free the States here. There was a very interesting exchange on Twitter the other day that I wanted to highlight in a video here. So it was between Jeff Leach, who is the chairman of the House Judiciary and Civil Jurisprudence Committee in Texas, and NARAL Pro-Choice Texas. So it began with NARAL tweeting at Jeff Leach, "Congratulations to Leach for Texas for receiving Texas Monthly's worst legislator." And they go on in the rest of the tweet to criticize Leach for a spat that he had with one of NARAL's interns at the Abolition of Abortion in Texas Act, the hearing for that bill. Leach responds by saying that the NARAL intern was snickering at and demeaning and ridiculing the witnesses who supported the bill. And then he goes on to criticize NARAL for, quote, advocating for the abortion of a perfectly healthy and completely innocent 39-week-old baby. Now, Leach is obviously right about it being completely evil and horrific that anyone would advocate for the abortion of babies up until the moment of birth, and that's what NARAL does, and he's right about that. What's wrong here, and what makes this tweet so interesting, is that Leach is not much better than NARAL, if at all. You see, Leach killed the Abolition of Abortion in Texas Act, that bill where this dispute happened that NARAL is complaining about. That bill, the Abolition of Abortion in Texas Act, was killed by Jeff Leach. And so Jeff Leach, in reality, is the abortion rights man of the year in Texas. Now, the reason that NARAL is opposing him or tweeting angry things at him on Twitter is because rather than donating to the abortion rights man of the year in Texas to make sure he gets reelected, NARAL can pretend to oppose him, right? Pretend that Jeff Leach is this scary, powerful anti-abortion warrior. And if NARAL does that, then pro-lifers will think, because of that they need to get behind Jeff Leach. This is someone whose bills we need to get behind, whose re-election campaign we need to get behind. And then the bills that Jeff Leach sponsors are bills like the one that just got signed by Governor Abbott that says if you murder a baby outside the womb, the fine is a little bit larger than it was before, right? That's the sort of bill that Jeff Leach sponsors, and that is a absolutely pathetic bill. You can't even call that anti-abortion. I don't know what that bill is, but it's no threat to abortion rights. It's no threat to Roe. It affirms abortion rights. It affirms Roe, and it gives a fine to people who commit murder. It's impossible to sponsor a weaker bill than what Jeff Leach sponsored. And this is exactly the type of pro-lifer that NARAL wants. And so they pretend to be really afraid of him, when in reality, he's their best friend. He is more responsible for abortion being legal than anyone in the state of Texas. He and anyone else who counseled him into killing the Abolition of Abortion in Texas Act. And so that's what's going on here. We need to see that. We need to know who are our legislators who are going to abolish abortion and who are the legislators who are going to regulate abortion, who are going to affirm legal abortion. And right now, we're not doing a great job of that. And the only reason I actually saw this tweet, I don't follow Jeff Leach or NARAL on Twitter, but I do follow a lot of pro-life Christians. And this Jeff Leach's comeback was retweeted by pro-life Christians who thought, hey, this is a great comeback from a pro-life guy who's responding to criticisms from NARAL, and I'm going to retweet that. And one of the people who retweeted this is Ali Stuckey. Now, Ali Stuckey is great. I highly recommend her podcast and her content that she puts out on different platforms. Some great political commentary, some great theological stuff that she puts out. But when we're retweeting people, we have to know who are we retweeting? Are these people actually on our side, or are these people part of a political game where they pretend to be on our side, but they actually are the reason that abortion is still legal? If we're going to end abortion, we've got to be able to make those distinctions. And I would encourage Ali and anyone else watching this video who's unfamiliar with the things that I'm talking about to look into it more, because this is not an isolated incident. Jeff Leach and whoever counseled him are the reason that abortion is legal in Texas for 2 more years. The Protection of Conception Act in Indiana was killed by Indiana Right to Life and by pro-life Republicans Brian Bosma and Ben Smalls. Here in Oklahoma, it was killed by Oklahomans for Life President Tony Lounger and Senators Jason Smalley and Greg Treat. All right, it happened in Idaho too. This is not isolated. This is happening everywhere, not everywhere, but in a lot of red states. And we've got to be aware of this. We've got to get the word out about this, and we've got to know who's abolishing abortion and who's content to regulate it and actually opposes abolishing it. Jeff Leach is content to regulate it and opposes the abolition of abortion.